Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the VK16801P, a tier 8 German premium tank that has arrived back in Blitz store. So we're going to talk about the tank, we're going to show you a few replays, we're going to have a look at the armor, we're going to have a look at the performance, and really we're going to decide whether or not it's worth buying this tank. And as you can probably tell by the title of my video, I hate the tank. I really do hate the tank, and I probably wouldn't recommend this to anyone. It feels horrible. It feels horrible, which is a shame, because I don't know why it feels horrible, because it almost has identical stats to the VK100-01. Same gun, same DPM, same penetration, etc. Same gun depression, same speed, everything. But it just feels different. It looks different, and it plays about the same, but it just feels so horrible. And I don't know why. You expect it to be this big monster, super heavy with extreme armor, but it's not. I don't think the armor is actually all that good. So DPM wise is 1928, which again is not the greatest. Penetration 220. The damage, it does have a 460 alpha on your standard AP, 390 on your APCR, and it does have a nice 600 alpha on your HE, which you can get. I've shot many times above 600. So all that, the damage, etc., is not all that bad. Aim time 2.17, base aim time, which isn't bad. Dispersion isn't great at 0.416. It's not good at all, and it does have 8 degrees of gun depression, which isn't bad. It only goes 20 kilometers an hour. So there's the biggest downfall for me, is the speed. It takes you about 2 hours to get into battle with the rest of your team. But the stats doesn't show like the tank, like how bad this tank is. You can see the armor here, so we're going to have a look at the armor. The front plate is, I think, 200 millimeters thick, or 180 millimeters. You can get it effective 273, and obviously if you use the gun depression, you can go up, but it's kind of pointless using that gun depression, because you got the bottom plate here in the middle becomes very, very weak. The higher you go, the weaker that becomes, but obviously the stronger the upper plate become. But there's no point angling it, because that is quite a big, just like on the VK, that's quite a big section for someone to aim at. Also, it has big tracks, and I haven't tested it, but when I first made a video on this tank, you can aim directly in front of this tank. Say I'm in a different tank and I'm looking at it now. If you shoot any of these tracks just straight in the middle, it does damage. And that for me is just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Go back, I'll put my old video in the description, and you'll be able to see that you can just shoot these tracks directly in front of it, not even at an angle. I mean, at an angle you would expect maybe it could pen, but all you need to do is look directly in front of a tank, shoot any of the tracks, and it will do damage. So not good. That isn't good. The turret is okay. I mean, 237 millimeters thick. Again, load APCR and you're going to pen. So load APCR and you're going to pen the front plate just about, or if not, you can't pen the front plate. That bottom plate is very weak. You can pen that with AP, no problem. The side of the gun mantlets, that again, load APCR, and some tanks may even get away with shooting that without pramo. And then that hatch on top is very, very weak, 137 millimeters. So there's so many weak points in this tank, and of course you can't really side scrape. If you side scrape and you turn your gun, then the side of the turret does actually get quite weak. I mean, the side of the turret doesn't look too bad on paper, but I've been shot many times in the side of my turret, and I've been shot on the front plate many times at even this kind of angle, where they shoot me from the left and they still manage to pen, even though it says 400 or so effective. But again, you've got that little port in the middle there. That's weak. So there's just so many angles that you can shoot this tank. If you're in this kind of angle, obviously your side plates does become weak. Your turrets become weaker. That hatch on top, the bottom plate, even at this angle, you're gonna get penned all day long. It does have spaced armor, I mean, at the bottom, but what's the point of that spaced armor when you've just got this big massive side skirt here that's very, very weak? Of course you're going to get some bounces. You are going to get some troll bounces. Of course you will. You always do in these big super heavies. Even the rear is 110mm thick, which isn't bad. But there's just too many weak points. There's too many weak spots in this tank to bounce and carry the game if you need to. Too many. First of all, I do think they need to make this upper plate probably maybe even over 300mm. You shouldn't be able to pen this. Maybe, I mean, what, it's 180mm. Put it up to 220, and it's the bottom plate, fine, keep it as it is, because you do need the weak points. You make that red and it will be OP. And probably make the hatch a little bit, I mean, 120mm, the hatch, it's too much. It's too much. You can't hold down because of that hatch. You can't hold down because you just shoot gold in between the turret cheeks, and you can't use the gun depression because of this big massive space at the bottom. So for me, there's no really decent way how to play this tank. And we are going to show you a couple of battles now, just to see how the tank actually plays in battle. So first of all, we're just going to show you a couple of shots. HE there, 615 in the bullseye, not bad. And we're going to get shot from the ISA. And again, I said looking at that armor profile, the turret doesn't look too bad. But just look at the position of my tank, and he's going to shoot the front of my turret when I was at an angle. And he still manages to penetrate me. Easy, no problem whatsoever. And again, we're going to poke forward. We are going to get the shot on the ISA. We're going to back up and just look. He hits my track. And he does some damage. This battle, we're going to carry a little bit. Not many people are playing this tank, and it's still quite difficult to ace. I had a look on blitz stars, and there was like the Hall of Fame on this season is like 2,000, something like that. It's crazy. And this actually is first, if I can say, I can do a clickbait and say Hall of Fame #1 battle at the moment with this tank. But looking at the players playing it over the last 90 days, there were 68 players. There were 68 players playing this tank. So it's not very popular. It wasn't very popular when it first come for sale. I mean, I wasn't in no rush to buy it the first time around. Luckily, I got to actually play at Tankfest before it come out. It was on their devices, so I asked Wargaming, like, because they have devices around a sort of a table thing, which allows the community to play. And the first thing I do when I go to Tankfest and I see these is I look at what tanks there are, because usually there is some sneaky little tanks. And a couple of years before, there was the STRV and the Cromwell B before they was released. So every year I go Tankfest, I do look at what tanks they got, because they're all sort of press accounts, and I actually found this tank. So I asked Wargaming if I was allowed to play it. Yep, no problem. If it's there, go play it. So we did. We played it, and even at Tankfest, I thought, this is shit. This tank is shit. Absolutely shit. And when they released it, I did a video, and my views didn't change on it. So we're going to do another video, as we're doing now, and my views are still not changed. It's still boring as hell. It does have a nice gun, don't get me wrong. If you can max out that HE, it is fun doing that. But other than that, that's all it's got. It's slow. It's horrible looking. It looks like poop. It plays like poop. I do like doing blind shots like this, though, on the T49. Bless his little art. So this battle, we've done only 900 damage so far. And all my team are dead except for three. The three enemies are dead. But it's not like I've just sat at the back. I've been moving, but it's just so slow. By the time I've got there, everyone's dead. And that's the worst thing about this, especially in tier 8 when there's loads of quick tanks. In tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, it's really slow. That's why I don't like the T95 in tier 9 is because it's just so slow. If you can get into the battle properly, you can actually use the T95 as a really, really good tank, and it could be a really good tank. But for me, it's just too slow. I mean, I don't mind tanks like the Tog, which is probably slower, if not the same, roughly. Probably slower, actually. But the Tog's fun. The DPM is absolutely crazy, and you have so many hit points, and you're only up against tier 5. You can play against tier 5. So it's completely different to tier 8, 9, and 7, 8, 9. So this battle, we're now up to 2,600 damage. So we're going to ignore the VK for now. We want to take care of this FV because, yes, he's tier 7, but he has great DPM. And if I miss a couple of shots, he can really... My reload's about 14 seconds. He can hit me 4 times in that, and he's doing 100 and so damage. So if I'm shooting the VK, he needs another 2 shots. And if I shoot him twice, then that FV could kill me quite easily. So I wanted to take him out, and that is what I did. And it does pay off because this VK actually doesn't look too good. So he's now a 1-shot. I'm still 1,100 hit points. I've still got plenty of hit points left. But now it's literally just a slow tank versus a slow tank running around a rock. And it was just like, come on, man. Just give up. You're not going to win. We've got a cap. We're on 730 cap points. I've got 1,100 hit points left. You just give up. Just give up. But he doesn't. It makes me have to reset the camo and then come at a different direction to get him. Otherwise, it would just literally be going around in a circle with 2 VKs. So that is basically it. We do end that game on 4,000 damage, but I was pleasantly surprised that that was only a first class. And with 68 people playing the tank, I thought that maybe should have been an ace, but I didn't really do anything to deserve an ace. It's just the tank itself. So that is it, guys. I wouldn't recommend this tank. It is a little bit boring, but if you want it, then it's your money. Go get it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy. See you soon.